dear viewers. We are happy to welcome you at another international discussion, which is a continuation of the unprecedented conference, Global Crisis Time for the Truth, which was held on December 4th, 2021. The conference was organized purely by volunteers from over 180 countries. It was broadcasted to thousands of online platforms, and not just that. The conference was translated, and again, purely by a huge team of volunteers into 100 languages. It is amazing to see what people are capable to do together when they are united in one common goal, bringing truth to people about climate change, about ecology, refugees, human trafficking, slave children labor, and other problems of our today's consumer society.
This conference generated a huge amount of resonance in our society and inspired people from all over the world. The worldwide international online forum, Global Crisis, We Are Humans, We Want to Live. The goal of the forum is to inform humanity truthfully and objectively about the growing threat of climate and environmental disasters. To reflect the real scope of the multiple crises of the consumer society, to find out practical solutions to overcome all crises by building the creative society. The event is initiated and held on a voluntary basis through people's own efforts and resources. And we invite everyone, scientists, experts, social activists, and all interested people to participate in the preparation of this forum, because together we can achieve anything.
Yes, and indeed, only together we could continue this chain of the conference of the forum where we all people could unite. So let me introduce today our guest, and today with us Elena Prengemann. She's from Germany, a family medicine physician. Greetings. Also today, Dr. Jeffrey.
Hello.
Welcome. And also today with us, Dr. Jeffrey Long from USA. He's an MD radiation oncologist and best-selling author of Evidence of the Afterlife.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome. Also today with us, also from Germany, Alexander Masny. He is a biochemist and neuroinformatician. Welcome.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Yes, and also Antonina Tatarchuk from USA. She is a registered nurse. So welcome to the international discussion.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today. And Antonina, I would like to pass first question to you, since the conference, this is the significant event for all of us when the truth was voiced at this conference. So could you please share what impressed you the most when you have watched this conference?
Well, I can really honestly verbalize my impression after watching this conference, and I would like to say big thank you for all people who actually contribute in preparation for this conference and gather all information for technical support. I understand how big and time consuming that was for everybody, but it was, I would explain the first time when I saw it, my impression was I was in shock. It was really shocking for me to digest all of this information, because they all was gathering together and really acute and really important topics for today was in this conference. And I'm a mother of two children, 4 years old and 13 years old, and they're growing in this world. And when you watch something like that, at the end, you just feel like, goodness, my kids will have a room here to grow and to have an actual planet to live in. So it was really awakening. And thank you so much for all scientists, for everybody who were verbalizing the knowledge and teaching us what's actually going on. And thank you so much for the truth and standing up for the truth, because it's not easy, I understand. And for everybody, I think it's really awakening conference. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Antonina. I totally agree with you, because also for me, when I watched the conference, it was really like awakening and understand that we don't really know anything about what's happening in our world, but like this information, what was voiced at this conference was really like motivation to act. Indeed, that's true. Thank you for sharing. And also, like at this conference, many things was said about climate change, and we know that there, like in your place, there was a major Marshall Fire in Colorado recently. So, and we know that this affect like entire city. So maybe could you share like if you?
Yeah, I was just more than happy to share that information with you guys, because basically this big fire happened in our neighborhood, basically. And for me, living in Colorado, we have some fires here. Basically, time to times, but they didn't have that mashtub, and they didn't have it damage, which is this Marshall Fire made. And so the whole entire community got lost the houses, and it's happened so quickly and was developing so quickly. Happily, we didn't have anybody injured, and that was big luck and huge effort from firefighters, from rescue teams, and from people getting together and helping each other. So that was great. But like I said, mashtub of it, how quickly it happened, it's actually made us realize that we don't know a lot. And to this moment, it is no information about actually the reason why this fire started and what actually is caused it. So it's a lot of questions. They making a lot of investigation, trying to find to the bottom the cause of it. And since it has pretty much similar scenario to other big fires, like say in California and all over the world, it's a big question that it's really similar, and it probably has pretty much similar cause to it. So that's my personal opinion. Of course, I'm not scientist. Of course, I'm not an investigator on this particular fire, but it's make us think about that something going on, and we need to get to the bottom to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like also this answer, what is the cause of this climate change about the so huge fire? It's all mentioned at the conference. So would like to address the viewers. Please watch, and really you find out there is the truthful information about what is going on. Thank you so much, Antonina.
You're welcome.
If I may add a bit on what is maybe the cause, and actually we also, Anna discussed that the cracks in the earth may be the cause, where there is a very seismic active zones on the earth, and when the magma is too close to the surface, and it may also getting causing it. There are many things which actually show us how massive this climate change is now, and what is going on.
Yeah, and I would like to add something that, I'm a registered nurse and I'm taking care of my patients. And, sometimes I'm just doing simple things like wound care and all of that. And I was helping my patient, and he was watching news. So I was just kind of heard, and it was about Marshall Fire first. So it took my attention because I was like, well, that's an interesting topic. And they found that it was a coal miner right in that neighborhood, and the temperature of that coal miner was really unusual high. So I was like, that's interesting, which is definitely correlate with what just you share with us. So, like this technology would give us a great opportunity to connect, which is for human being, I think it's really essential. And your information you just share correlates to that information what I heard from the news, and it's make me feel that this is the truth. And it just make people think and make people basically change their lives, because this is our future and we need to protect it.
Ja, vielen Dank für die Beiträge.
Thank you very much for the contributions. I think it is important for every viewer to watch this conference, because for me it was like a big puzzle, where many puzzle pieces come together at the same time and you suddenly get exactly this explanation. In Germany too, we have observed that climate change is already here, and that we are being surprised by extreme events which have never happened before, or which have never happened in such a short time. And I can only recommend everyone to really watch the conference, because so many different explanations work together and you get a holistic picture. And I would like to ask Elena. Elena also watched the conference. And Elena, what was for you the most impressive aspect of the conference?
Der Name von dieser Konferenz,
The name of this conference, Global Crisis, the Time for the Truth, speaks for itself. It is no secret to all of us that we as humanity are in a deep crisis. And this crisis affects all aspects of our lives. And well, the truth is sometimes hard to bear. And many people try to abstract themselves from the truth, and then the protective mechanisms of our psyche turn on, and the conscious mind suppresses that, and if at some point it's hard to bear, and there was a lot of information about climate, about environmental degradation. These I had already kind of heard at other conferences. I also participate in translation of videos and of information in the context of the preparation for the conference's Global Crisis. But this time I was most deeply touched by the documentary Refugees, The Unexpected Truth, which was shown at the conference. I wouldn't go deeper into the contents now, but I recommend everyone who hasn't seen this film to watch it, as well as the whole conference. There is a saying in German, was ich nicht weiß, macht mich nicht heiß. And so many of us live in this dormant state, thinking that the problems of climate, environment, and our humanity crisis will somehow solve themselves, or someone will come and solve these problems for us. But these problems are real, and they threaten our existence as humanity. And for me, I have been thinking of this conference, Global Crisis, Time for the Truth, as a global wake-up call to people. It tells us that no one is going to come and solve these problems. We have to do it ourselves. And only as a united humanity we can do that. And the good thing is that there's a solution. And this wake-up call was delivered in 100 languages thanks to the volunteer interpreters from all over the world.
Ja, vielen Dank, Elena, dass du das nochmal sagst.
Yes, thank you, Elena, for saying that again. That's what inspires me, that so many people are already working together and so many people have this goal of really improving the world. And the conference is shocking. The conference shows the truth, and you wonder why this truth is not told anywhere else. Why do we, the people, have to start telling this? And this alone already shows how important it is to talk about it.
And
we will also talk about that the creative society is the only way to find a solution. So we are not leaving the audience alone with the problems, and it's really about understanding that we have a chance as humanity. And there were a lot of different topics at the conference. Elena touched on one topic now. I also have to say that this video about human trafficking and the refugees issue was really shocking.
But
as I said, there's a way out. And I would like to ask Alex. Alex is an expert in his field, including medical issues. Alex, as we all know, there are technologies in medicine that are rapidly integrating. Whether it's artificial intelligence, whether it's possible 3D printing of organs, whether it's nanorobotics, that means we do have opportunities. We have opportunities to save human lives, and we don't. And this absurdity that we have, how can you explain it? Are we too blind to see this in our society? This society that we are in, this consumer society? Why aren't we using these technologies for the benefit of all?
Yeah, thanks, David, for the question. It's actually a very good and deep question. Why, when we have all of these technologies, that what you already mentioned, and it's typical when you read all these news about new discoveries, a new technology that we already use in somewhere, but it's applied only partially and somewhere locally, right? So it's not distributed around the world and will be available for everyone. And I'm always wondering why is it so? Because as you also mentioned, and it was exactly shown and very detailed shown in the conference about these farms of people. It's even horrible to imagine, but some people grow other people in order to use them for organs. And this information just shocks you. I mean, how in our modern society, in our so-called civilized society, can that even happen? If we have technologies, this 3D printing and growing of organs from tissues, from this omnipotent cells, from this cell that can be then transformed into organs, right? So, and the biology is known, the technology is now making progress, and we are ready be able even to apply these organs, right? To insert it to the people, but we're not still making use for everyone. So it's not open for everyone. And I think, as only from my perspective, because I'm not in that business, in the medicine, I'm not a specialist in this area of transplantology and so on. But as a side from look from the outside, it's the cost is money, because in order to really apply it and apply it to all, you need a huge investment, and this technology should be more paid attention to. We need to make more funds and grants for such kind of technologies, and when we invest more, then it becomes cheaper and cheaper, like everything in our world, right? And then it will be already available for everyone, and then all this business will make no sense. And it's first thing. And second thing, that we actually need to understand the importance of human life as a society. Just really reconsider all our views that we have. And then when we as a society, when each of these personalities we can understand this important, that the person that sits near you, right, or look at you, is exactly the same person as you are. This such a feeling that when you understand it, then you will be very careful about what are you doing in life. And exactly the foundation of creative society shows it. Show how important this first foundation that I really love, and the value of human life. And then if one life is valuable, then all people are valuable. Lives of all people are valuable. And then we will find money, because it's not a problem to save people's life. It's not a problem to make advancement in these technologies and make it available for everyone. So we need to really reconsider what are we doing in this world, and take decision to build the creative society. That's from my understanding. Thanks.
Vielen Dank, Alex.
Yes, you are right. We see how much our consumer-orientated society also leads us into a dead end, which blinds ourselves to everything that is actually within us. So to live humanness, to be human, and to actually be as we are meant to be humane, and to approach each other with love. We would like to show the viewers now a video clip from this conference of the 4th of December. This video is showing the information about which we have now discussed. It's not an easy video, but we think it's important to just look the facts in the eye as well. Let's show the video now.
In this video, we had to change some words and expressions using milder terms. But we hope that the severity of the problems looming over our society will still be evident. In the 21st century, human civilization boasts about its high level of intellectual development and incredible technological achievements. At the same time, at least half the world's population do not receive the health service they need. 8 billion deaths occur every year as a result of poor quality of medical care. Healthcare costs are so high that they drive about 100 million people into extreme poverty each year. Living below the poverty line leads to an increase in child labor. Nearly 1 child out of every 10 is forced to work. Often, this work involves hazardous machinery and poisonous fumes. The list of products produced by child slave labor includes gold and precious stones, coffee, cocoa, rice, baby products, and clothing. According to UN statistics alone, more than 40 million people are victims of modern slavery. Forced labor, child labor, forced marriage, debt bondage, human trafficking for illegal exploitation, and recruitment of children for armed conflict. In the consumeristic format of society, people have already surpassed wild animals in terms of cruelty. More and more often, children are used as live bombs. In Nigeria, criminals put an explosive on a girl with a baby in her arms. After years of warfare, the economic crisis and drought have caused famine in Afghanistan. There is a well-known case where a mother was forced to sell her little daughter for 400 euros to feed her other children. Today, more than 41 million people are one step to death from starvation, and about 811 million people are starving. Meanwhile, every year, more than 1 billion tons of food are thrown away, and unsold goods, including those produced by means of slave labor, are destroyed. The absurdity of consumer society is that a human himself has become a commodity. Annual income from human trafficking worldwide is $150 billion, which is the largest source of illicit profit in the world. There are 534 human trafficking flows registered in 148 countries. The number of detected child victims had tripled over the last 15 years. Victims of traffickers are mainly migrants and jobless people, as they are the most vulnerable. International treaties proclaim goals of ending poverty and slavery. But in the context of a mass consumption economy, the whole system is designed to protect private capital. In the consumerist format of society, money is more valuable than human life. Worldwide, more than 2 million children a year become victims of trafficking for all kinds of exploitation. In Mexico, 25% of all women who are victims of trafficking are girls under 18.
Please help. My husband threatens me. He beats me. He forces me to have sex with his friends who come here so he can make money. They started beating me, pouring alcohol on me, making me drink, pointing a gun at me, saying they would kill me and no one would ask about me, no one would know where I was. And they opened the window and said, "Jump or we will shoot you in the head."
And did you jump?
Yes.
From which floor?
I think it was the 5th floor.
In the consumerist format of society, people are ready to kill each other to satisfy ambitions for fun and profit. Illicit trafficking of human organs worldwide is estimated at $600 million a year. According to WHO statistics, 10,000 human organs are illegally transplanted every year. In Nigeria, special baby factories are set up on a massive scale, where children are bred like a livestock. Teenage girls are forcibly impregnated and coerced to bear their life commodity for sale.
But most of them are pregnant teenagers. They were held captive for one purpose: to force them to give birth. The kidnappers were making money on selling the babies. I got a call at 6 a.m. this morning saying that there were kidnappers at the school, that all our children had been kidnapped, including my daughter. We rushed there. It was confirmed that they had all been captured.
Are we human civilization if human life has no value on this planet? To change this, we all need to stop supporting the consumeristic format of society and unite in a common goal: to build the creative society.
Yeah, dear friends, so everything what we just saw is a consumer format, where money and power dominate and where the life of human is reduced to zero. So indeed, do we have any right to call ourselves as a civilized society when such a terrible thing is happening? So Dr. Long, would like to hear you. So what do you think about all of this?
That video, I wish everybody in the world had a chance to see. Under no circumstances can you watch that video and realize we're anywhere near a creative society. That's why this project that we're doing here, the major conference we had in December and down to this very discussion today, is so important. We need to get the word out that there really are these severe problems in the world. There's an astounding lack of respect and even at the most basic level for other human lives. The consumeristic desires, profit, exploitation are clearly rampant. And it's not just limited areas of the country. You find that everywhere, and it is shocking. That's why we all need to get together as an organization and get the message out to the world that the creative society is a very important path towards understanding the 8 pillars of the creative society, that respect for human beings, that respect for each individual in all ways is really going to be the foundation for helping to mitigate and hopefully eliminate these horrors that are going on around the world. We like to think of ourselves as being in a civilized society, but if you look at the very definition of civil, it means respect. It means being honorable. And there's nothing that you saw in that video has anything to do with that. It's just simply unbridled greed, absolute, complete disrespect for even the most basic human value and very human basic decency. So that's why this conference is so important. We all, first of all, we need to know the truth. I mean, that's what we keep bringing forward in these discussions is you need to know the truth. I mean, a lot of people, I don't think, were aware of the severity of the problems in the video we just saw, and yet there it is for everybody to see. But that's the strength. While we're all shocked and appalled by that, there's a light of hope, and that is what this conference, future conferences, everybody getting together, being aware of the problem, being committed to work together as a group to help make sure in the years and decades to come, we can wipe out this scourge of humanity.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Long, that you shared. It's really, like important to know the truth. And thank you that you highlighted it, because without that, how we could, understand what is happening now, and how we can, even understand that we have to move, towards creative society and indeed to unite. Because, now we see that alone person and community, even country, they cannot deal with such problems. But only, together, only united, when we see one common goal, then we definitely will find the solution. Thank you so much.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was just having some thoughts, and network and basically society, which is of people who working together and thinking about humanity, about importance of human life. And we have Facebook, which is kind of big community where all kind of people connected, and they communicate with each other, they messaging each other, they doing all kind of activities. I think that would be a great idea if people who has the same values, the same idea about importance of respect to each other. So humility is the first thing. That network could be pretty similar as Facebook or any other social media can be created, and everybody can be on the same page and share information. Because I really believe if we do have that information on the table and we know what's going on, it's the first step to change, to the changes and to change the situation where we're at this moment. And why we wouldn't create something like that? And like in that, will be connected people all over the world. Right now, I was speaking with 2 languages, but it's so many languages all over the world. And so many people who were in shock watching this conference and knowing the truth, and thinking about, we cannot eat money, we cannot drink money, we cannot survive with the money. We need definitely something else on the table in order to continue our existence on this planet. And this is something, kind of what is in my head after watching something like that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, because indeed, like actually that's what millions of volunteers, of like participants of the creative society, they are doing, because they're sharing the information how they can, and they're also using like social media in like, because there's like we know Facebook, yeah, the most popular, but also like in each country there's some like local social media. So they also, like try to use this. So we even, don't know, but there's in 180 countries, participants of creative society already actively participating, and they like after even like as you said, after this conference you cannot like be passive and do nothing. You definitely moving towards achieving our common goal. So that's why, Antonina, may I ask you the question, since you start like talking about like the importance of sharing the information. So indeed, in a time of global climate cataclysms, what do you think is the role of unity of all people around one goal, building the creative society?
I think, the one person cannot change anything. So, but if that person is, like, let's say, one cell of our body, we know that we have millions of cells in us, in all kind of systems, which is gathering together, cardiovascular, nervous system, all kind of systems, they work in like one big organism, which is, who we are. And so let's say if you make a decision, like, for example, to have a healthy style of life tomorrow, and you practice it, you just not only make a decision, you start doing it. You made an action and you change style of life. Then that one little cell, by the change, start changing everything around and start making you healthy and start making you moving. And the same as society. So when we realize something and we start change, I think, consuming, and that we're all consumers. I can say it about myself. Yes, I do. But when I realize something like that, I think 10 times before I purchase something, because I do I really need it? Maybe somebody, and it's the same as we have, like we just saw in the video, how much food we're throwing away when the people actually, some countries are hungry. And I know that United States, we're doing a really good job of taking care of people around the world. And with all our missions, we have a lot of programs and stuff like that. But I think at the same time, really, do we know our neighbors? Do we know really who is really in need? And maybe somebody is really right now struggling of some problems, and we just don't know, and we don't care. So I think, and what I see from my children, that my children realizing that they are searching for changes, they are searching for a better society, because they're thinking, well, if we'll continue, we'll all die. And it's kind of hopeless. It's like, well, it's like, okay, so what's the point of living that? So I think it's a really important question on the table, and creates a lot of changes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why at the conference, every speaker mentioned about the way out. And this is the building creative society. And creative society is an all-human project, and it is implemented by people themselves from more than 180 countries. And in this project, volunteers have been interviewing people of different nationalities, religions, social status, and so on in like all countries during the past 10 years. So could you imagine? It really was the enormous social pulse that we ever had in the history. And they ask people the same questions. So in what society you would like to live? Like, what do you prefer, that should be in our society? So, from this kind of social survey, from this like millions of interviews, these like 8 foundations were created. And it's like this unique foundation because it's contain the desire of all people, how we really want to live. So, David, let's maybe start to talk about the eight foundation, the one goal that we all have and we all are striving to achieve.
Great, thank you.
Ja, vielen Dank.
Thank you very much. I want to follow up. I think it's also very inspiring, and I think it's great that we are sitting here talking together, and hopefully that's the push to talk to more people about this and that we can just share this information. This has been said several times now, and Anna just touched on it. What's special for me, and I think for all the viewers, is that we are not just talking about the problems, presenting the truth, but really showing a solution. And the idea of the creative society with its 8 foundations is related to the desire of the people. That is what the people wish for themselves. In this respect, it is something that everyone understands and feels, that society should be built on the basis of these 8 foundations. And I would like to say something to Antonina, who just spoke about the fact that young people also feel that something has to change, that we are also heading in the wrong direction. And I believe that the potential is simply enormous, because everyone realizes that we have to take a new path and that the potential is so great, especially in science, for example. And we have to use this potential, whether it's a scientific potential, whether it's a social potential, this solidarity, it's so huge. We just have to focus on one basis, and that basis is the 8 foundations we would like to talk to you about. Yeah. The question to Elena. Elena, what role do you think it plays, especially in these times of global climate catastrophes, to really unite people in one goal in building the creative society? Why is that so important to you as well? In my opinion, the introduction of the 8 foundations of the creative society will simply end all the crises in society that we have. The environment, the climate crisis, the humanity crisis, the economic crisis, the energy crisis. When human life will come first, all of the phenomena in society that do not correspond to this goal of this foundation will cease, and everything will be directed towards the preservation of human life. First of all conflicts and wars between countries will stop, and this will free up huge amounts of resources, financial resources, other material resources, and also the potential of scientists who may be engaged in the development of some weapons, or thinking about what can you do so that our technology breaks down after the warranty period, that we will have to buy a new technology, which is common in the consumer society. Yes, where money comes first. And this entire material resources and human potential will unite. And in this way, all crises and problems can be solved easily. We also know now from the conference and from the broadcast with Igor Mikhailovich Danilov about the real cause of climate change, that it is due to cosmic radiation. Right now we don't have the technologies, we can't do anything about it. But if we unite all our human potential in science, we can study this radiation, for example, and develop methods of counteraction. And in the creative society, the danger of the self-destruction of mankind will not exist anymore. There will be also technologies for the production of the free energy, or they are already there. It's just that they can't be given to the people in the consumer society. Yes, our whole life will be directed to the first. That's why it is the first, the most important foundation, and all other foundations are actually for the preservation of human life. We will also, our medicine will finally be able to truly cure diseases. I see then in my vision it's a very positive development. No wars, no conflicts, also no power over each other, just responsibility, no starvation. And every person is provided with all necessities. It's provided with free medicine and education. We can also achieve clean environment. And that's only part of the positive changes that will happen if the 8 foundations that even the people themselves want are implemented at the legislative level. So it should be implemented in all countries. And that's our big opportunity. And I would very much like to live in the creative society.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Elena, for such a wonderful opinion about how our world will change if this 8 foundation will be implemented. Dr. Long, we will be very happy to hear your understandings and your thoughts. So how do you think how the world will change if all these 8 foundations will be implemented?
Yeah, that's a great question. I hope everybody seeing this video at any future time, I hope it sinks in the severity of the problems we face: human traffic, the climate change, healthcare disparities, the consumer society. These are very, very serious problems. And yet here we are, people, volunteers from all around the world talking to each other through the volunteer translators. We can understand each other. It's sort of a microcosm of the potential of the creative society. We all learn the truth. We become aware of the severity of the problems, and we all work together, just like we are here as a group today, becoming increasingly aware of the problem and sharing solutions. I think a major solution for all of these very serious problems we've discussed today comes right from the 8 foundations of the creative society. I'd encourage everybody to read them online, but those 8 foundations, the pillars, are human life, human freedom, human safety, transparency, and openness of information for all, the creative ideology, allowing each person to develop their own personality, justice, and equality, and finally, number 8, the self-governing society. These are the pillars of the creative society, and that is, for anybody listening to this video, if you can carry those values forward, you've taken one very important step towards helping deal with these problems we're talking about. Please share with as many people as you know about this video, the truths in it, and the potential path to deal with everything we're talking today through the creative society and through those 8 pillars. I think each person individually, in a very important way, has an important role and a very important role in being a part of the solution of all these very difficult problems. Let's all work together so that in the years and the decades to come, these problems are reduced or gone. I think we all have that potential, and we start with that very first day, that being listening to the video, talking, and being committed individually to go forward and do something about all this. I think we can.
Thank you, Dr. Long. I see it the same way. Also, thank you for pointing out that this is a video we need to be sharing and sharing the information as well. And we should also be pointing out to our viewers that everything that we are talking about here can also be wonderfully read on the Creative Society.com homepage. You can find information there because there is also a very clear action plan. Let's call it an action plan for a creative society, which will take place in 3 stages. And the first stage is to share the information, because everyone has to know about it first, that the Creative Society project exists at all. Before that, we can't get to the second stage, to think about how to implement the 8 foundations politically, that is, to implement them at the legislative level. That's why it's so important that we all really actively participate in sharing the information about the Creative Society, about the project, telling that to all the people. And only then it can go further. That's also why we are here. That's why we are speaking, to just get the information out there as well. Alex, I'd like to ask you one more question. What do you think is special about the Creative Society? We've talked a lot about the drawbacks that come with our consumer format. What is new about the project or the form of the Creative Society?
Vielen Dank, David. Thank you, David. What is new? I think these main values of the people that actually will be implemented as a simple truth. This is what is new. This value that, thanks to Dr. Jeffrey Long, who just mentioned all of them, these can be implemented right now in what we call laws, right? So law, it's a rule, it's prescribed, and you must follow the law. But these simple truths, these simple foundations, you can just live by them, right? It's actually very comes from, I don't know, like from the bottom of your heart, from this deep understanding inside that these values are normal, like for the whole humanity. It's when you're born, you behave like that, right? Of course, there are some different conditions where people born, and we saw such examples. But these initial values are very understandable, very clear. And after some time, when you're growing up, you learn how our society functioning, you try to adjust yourself and try to survive in this world. You stop doing like as you feel, but you start doing what you really exactly what you just need to do in order to survive. And this mechanism, this format pushes you, forwards you, force you actually to behave inappropriately. And we saw it in these different examples. Exactly. I want to also to summarize what everyone has said today, what also Antonina said in the beginning, that when you also said, and and you want to share it, in Facebook, all these truths. And this is the importance of this information, and the importance of every person is so valuable, because you can share to your circle of people, like someone in Facebook, on Twitter, and many other social networks, and you can share your understandings, how this format can be changed, can be different. Because some people, as Elena Prengemann also mentioned, like some people see one side of things, like they're doing something with techniques, and they see that these warranty periods or this absurdity, when we have some really wonderful technologies to do not leave anyone hungry. We can do such kind of thing that this concept of the thirst will not exist on our planet, because we have these technologies. We can take it from the air. We can make the water that it's we use in filters, make it clean again. And it's very obvious. But why are we not using that? And sometimes people doing like they know only one side of thing, but when you're looking for the conference, as Jeffrey Long said, they hold the complete conference, you understand the multifaceted of these issues, and that the only solution of this absurdity, of this paradoxical situation, is creative society. It's simple, with simple understanding, with the simple truths that are valuable and very understandable for everyone. And what I would also like to add, that what for me personally this conference shows is this drive for the life. It's this stimuli and this action of really millions of people all around the world to change this format, to really start doing something, and they showing it by action that it's possible. They are examples. There are true heroes of our modern world.
I think that this platform started, it's a huge change of energy, because people with those values, they made the first step. They put this information out, and people start hear and start realize and start thinking, yes, it is. And this is change vibration of thoughts and vibration of energy, and shifted to something else. So for me, it is, for example, really big, powerful, energetic movement, because it will start changing society's thoughts and move forward with some decisions, with some, scientific exchanges and knowledges and stuff like that. So that's amazing.
Absolutely agree with you. Indeed, this is amazing, because like creative society gives us a variety, of opportunity, what we people could achieve, what we could have, it's in a science, like in all spheres of our life. So indeed, it's important. And Antonina, thank you so much for your initiative. So indeed, with all the ideas what we have, we could implement them all together. But just we have to, to unite that, how this conference are actually happening only when all people are uniting and together work, they combining the information, making this video, for working and editing the video, who are making the script, and so on. So there's many people who are doing what they can do and what they really want to do, and all together when we combine all our efforts, this beautiful stuff we are achieve, such as conference that we have now. So thank you so much, and joining all the team, and together we really could do a lot. And thank you so much all the guests, because today in this conversation we have talked about how it's important to build creative society, and actually that every person wants to live in such society. But at the same time, we have frequently comments about our video, and people are saying that no one will allow you to build creative society. So such words we heard and we see. But for this comment, I have a question: who can prevent us from building creative society if 99% of all people want to live in such society? Then I have only the conclusion that there's only one person who can prevent, and it's ourselves. Because from our passive things, we we do nothing. So that's why it's only from us depend will creative society will be or not. So only up to us. And for now, that's happy news that millions of people are already united by one goal, and millions of people already know about creative society. But there are still, nearly 8 billion of us that still, don't know about it. So that's why it's so important to inform everyone, because without even one person, we can't build it, right? Because we need all people all together unite, and together only we could, overcome and make creative society happen. So that's why I would like to ask our guests, so share what this simple action everyone can do, even sitting on a couch or like doing some other work, but what everyone can do, and how it's important, to act, not just to stay and observe. I think it's not even the point in our now situation, because it's very important now to act, watching of the seriousness of the situation on our planet. So Dr. Long, would like to ask you.
Okay, great question there. I think all of us need to do two things, and this is a message for all the viewers watching this. Please be informed. Watch these videos as they come up. There will be more of them in the future. The information is fantastic. It really helps clarify the problems in this world, and we all need to know about them. But secondly, with that information, get involved. Please share about the Creative Society, these videos, the videos that will come in the future with as many people as you know. Social media is good. Get the word out. Let people know that you really support the goals of Creative Society. Do everything we can day by day in whatever way you can to help mitigate these problems that have been discussed. Always stay focused and optimistic that the future can be better than it's in the past, that working together all around the world as a creative society, bringing forward that compassion, that love for all of humanity, we can make this world a better place. And that's what I'd like to share as a summary from all this. Great discussion here today, by the way. Thank you.
Vielen Dank, Dr. Long.
Thank you very much, Dr. Long. Quite terrific words that you say. And yes, maybe we will move on. Elena, do you have another idea of how to actively participate in this process of the information stage? Yes. What I would do then, if I were confronted for the first time with the information about the Creative Society, so for example, I don't know about it at all, and I would be confronted with it. I would then first study this information more deeply in order to grasp it, in order to internalize it and understand it. I think that's what each of us did before we started to inform other people about it. And when I have understood this information really profoundly, then there are no more doubts. Of course, there are many questions about how it will be, and there are also ideas about what can be done, but then there are no more doubts that this idea, the unification of people around this idea, is possible, and that is informing about the Creative Society. I don't think there are any small or unimportant things. Any minimal action, be it a comment on YouTube under some video about Creative Society, or posting information in Facebook or in other social networks, can just trigger a chain reaction. There is such a snowball effect or even butterfly effect that we don't know what all we are doing with our actions. But I mean here in a positive sense. We can initiate something really big with a small action, and these changes will not be long in waiting. And Sasha has already said that I think it is important to live these foundations of the Creative Society now. Our society consists of small cells and small circles. that is the circle of our family, our friends, circle of our acquaintances, work colleagues, and we can live these values in these circles and also within ourselves already, and inform the people in these circles also about our big chance, about this wonderful possibility for a better world and this change, this really humane world. And I have many contacts, talk with many people, including my patients. That's really what everybody wants. I really don't know anybody in my circle who doesn't want that. And I also think that someone already has said this, that only 1% hinders us, and actually only we ourselves. That's why it's important to just be active. You can do that on the couch, where if you like to sit on the couch, you can be active on social media, but we can also get off the couch and make choices. We don't have time to do nothing anymore. So I think it's important to act in that direction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lena. And indeed, that's really true that, we have to act, we have to inform all people. And I also would like to mention, because usually we underestimate about this action of the sharing the information. But, this is so important to achieve this common goal, to build creative society. Firstly, we have together in our world create a demand that indeed we really want creative society. So for this, every person should know about this, and every person should learn about this 8 foundation and get aware. So then it's definitely we will create such a demand that we all want it. So also would like to ask Antonina, so what do you think what everyone can do, some simple action, so to inform everyone in order to achieve such creative society?
Well, I absolutely agree with you that only ourselves can stop us from actually create the society. So it's your inner understanding importance of it and move forward. And if you're like, well, I don't believe in it, then you're not going to make changes. If you truly believe in it, you will start minimal changes in your own life and get to know other people who share the same understanding, who share the same values with you, and stay in touch in making that, and definitely find together exchanges ideas and brainstorming. I like that expression, brainstorming, because during those brainstorming we will get ideas. We'll find something, yeah, look, that can work. And instead of be depressed, instead of like, oh, it's not a solution, we're all going to die, we will have plan. That is my own expression about it.
Vielen Dank, Antonina. Das ist ein ganz wichtiger
Thank you, Antonina. Through your own understanding, you have to have it. You have to understand why the creative society is simply right and why it brings so many advantages for all people. Otherwise, I can't tell anyone else about it. And you get this understanding when you talk to people. That's why I think it's very good that you say that we have to exchange ideas with each other, that we have to talk to each other. And we are therefore also happy if all the viewers who are watching now ask us questions. We get into the dialogue if you write us an email, if you simply leave comments, where you simply formulate questions, because that's how you get into the dialogue. And maybe also from my understanding, which I think also matches with everybody else here, is that we actually have no other option than to go a common path. We can't continue to stay separate. We have to understand that as humanity, we have no other choice at all. What alternative do we have? There is no such thing. We can't hide separately and hope to get a rosy future in our bunker or somewhere isolated, but we have to grow together as humanity. And the beauty is that when people understand what the creative society is all about, then they feel that it is right. Next to all the factual arguments that you have, next to all the facts that you list, people feel that it is the right thing to do. And I would also like to ask Alex at the end what his understanding is and what importance it has to get into an exchange with people. Maybe he has also experiences he can tell us. How important is it to talk to people about the creative society?
Thanks. Thank you for this question. And actually, it's really important because you introduce this idea, which is now it's new for them. But then when you just talk and share your understanding already, what you have got and understand about creative society, how it is working, how it is building, what kind of solutions do we have in order to really overcome all these crises. And it's very important when you share it, you give sort of a new understanding. And then later on, people will see the world through this understanding. Then you will look into news and you understand how it can be solved easily in creative society. You look at some issues and you understand that it only exists because of lack of money and no interest for saving all humans' lives. And this idea is becoming so normal to you. And it's really changed your worldview, your vision, and you understand that this potential of people, this potential for unity is really huge. And you personally need to act. You need to share this information, and it will be really like, as Elena mentioned, a snowball effect. So like first it's when it's coming from top, it's a small one, but it's getting bigger, and you share these comments, you type comments after you watch the video, how it can be in creative society, like what I personally do. So I also tweet to some other questions in Twitter and answer how it can be solved in creative society, and mention it in discussions with taxi drivers, with a person who sells me something, or I would like to interact like these small talks and everywhere. And this you understand, and that it actually is so easy to build that if everyone will be active and everyone will understand the importance of these steps that we and the importance of what everyone can do. Come to the people where they are, like in different social networks, on your work, everywhere, and explain the creative society, this idea that how it from both sides is very easy and very profitable for everyone and can save the human civilization. Thanks.
Vielen Dank, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. Another realization came to mind while you were speaking. We have often been asked, or I have been asked, do you have all the solutions up your sleeve by now? Do you already know how all these problems will be solved at once? How are you going to do it? And I have understood that the creative society creates the framework conditions. The framework conditions for working out precisely such solutions together with all the potential that we have. In other words, we don't claim to have all the solutions already, but we are creating the framework conditions that will enable us to develop solutions in the first place. And that's why the creative society is so fundamentally important, as a worldwide unification project. And we just hope that everyone understands that. And we also ask our viewers to think about how you can join, how you can participate here, how you can become active. And I would also like to thank you, together with Anna, for all these great contributions and for these different opinions, which show one thing, that everyone feels that the creative society is really the solution to our problems. Because the consumerist format, as we see it, is leading us to death, because it does not value human life. I think the conference has shown that, and in order to overcome these events, in order to put ourselves in a position to be able to live in the future at all, we really have to put first the human life. And it's actually so simple, and every person feels that, but it's not happening. That's why we have to do this. And we just hope and we wish that everybody will participate here. This is an open project, open to everyone, no matter what color, no matter what background, no matter what religion, it doesn't matter at all. It is purely a matter of coming together as human beings so that together we can simply secure our future. And with this in mind, we explicitly invite everyone, scientists, experts, socially active people, all affected people. We really invite them to our next online forum, Global Crisis. We are people, we want to live, on May the 7th, to meet there. Discussions are already taking place. Contact us. This is a truly unprecedented online event where, again, millions of people from 180 countries are coming together to organize this event collectively, where we as humanity all talk together about how we can really rewrite our future on these 8 foundations of the creative society. And yes, this event is also being broadcasted on tens of thousands of social media platforms. And we firmly believe that we can achieve anything together. We just need to unite.
Thank you so much. So I hope to see everyone on the 7th of May, because, you know, this is all mankind international forum. And indeed, this is like the event when, could you imagine, when all people come together? So I think this 7th of May should be this event when all people, all humanity could join together, could unite in our common goal. And as today, like everyone share how it's important to build creative society, because like otherwise we can't see our future. But with creative society, we will have this chance not only to survive, but actually to build a comfortable condition for all of us. And the most important part, to save lives. This is the most important. I think because, you know, even we today, we saw this video and we see how we not value today. The most valuable what we have in our world is a human life. But so that's why I think it's our task to change it when we start value the most, like the most miracle what we have in the world. It's the human life. So let's change it. And I think also from this conference, I think we bring even facts that this is possible. And it is possible. It's only up to us when we feel this responsibility towards our planet, towards our friends, relatives, and all people around the world, that this is our future and we can build it together. Thank you one more time for today's discussion. It was really amazing and very interesting.
Vielen Dank.